The Laureate Fellowship work is about two things really. It's about new forms of learning and it's about design for complex forms of learning. The situations in which people learn have become much more complicated in recent years. The technologies and devices and so on available to them are much more varied and ubiquitous and so on. But that educational design hasn't yet moved up in terms of its ability to deal with complex environments of that sort. So the new forms of learning, we're really talking about situations in which groups of people, communities of people, are trying to develop some shared understanding of some complex phenomena or set of issues, or whatever it might be, and they're doing that in ways that are mediated by technology. And there are lots and lots of examples of these kinds of communities or learning networks around. So part of the project is about analysing successful examples of network learning communities. And the design part then is to think about how we can take the things that we learn about successful examples and render it into guidance for design. It differs, I think, from some of the more conventional approaches to analysis and design insofar as we're trying to tackle design in a much more holistic way. So we're not just looking at tasks and activities and learning outcomes, but also the whole set of things that make up the physical and social environment in which learning takes place. The social and cultural are very important in terms of influencing, sometimes in powerful ways, sometimes in quite subtle ways, the detail of someone's activity, which in turn influences what they learn. And equally, in terms of the physical environment or the digital tools that are available to us, they shape the nature of the things we can do. Think about the furore around calculators, whether you should have access to a calculator when you're doing maths. In some circumstances it makes sense to do something without that calculator and demonstrate you can do so, but more and more we're interested in what people can do with the tools and technologies that people are used to using in the workplace. One of the things that's been happening around the world in the last 10 years or so, I think, is a kind of broadening of interest in design and designerly approaches to doing things. You find this in management, you find it in areas like public services. So people are now talking about management by design, and they're talking about the design of services. So partly what we'll be doing is looking at what design means in that much broader range of professional areas to see what we might learn for education and how we might think about design for education in a richer way.